Hi, it's Jim Nariel here, and another video about fat loss. And this one is a misconception that a lot of mistakes people make on this. And this is the best way to measure yourself. Now, obviously, it's very important to measure yourself. You need to find out where you've got some fat loss goals. You want to hit those fat loss goals. You need to make sure whether you're on track or not. And the only way you can do that is to measure to make sure that you are on track in the goals and your plans that you set. Alright, so stating the obvious, really, yes, you need to measure yourself. But let me ask you a question. How do you measure your fat loss? Alright? Do you jump on the scales? Alright? I imagine a lot of people do. The other question is, how do you measure your intake, your food intake? Do you count calories? Right, like a lot of people do. Now, the thing is, everybody does this. Everybody does this, and because we're all taught how to do that, we need to do this. We need to count calories, and we need to weigh ourselves. And I'm just trying to tell you, it's not the great thing to do. I mean, it's not terrible. It's not an awful thing to be doing. It's not the worst thing. It doesn't mean you're not going to lose weight or anything, or not going to lose fat or anything. But it's not the best way to be measuring yourself. And I'm going to reveal those with you at this particular video. Okay, let's take these two elements here. The best ways to measure yourself. On the left, I've got don't count calories. On the right hand side here, I've got don't use the scales. Right, so the reasons why we don't want to count calories are there's actually different types of calories you can take into your body. There are good calories and there are bad calories. And examples I've given here is the bad calories are the refined sugars, and the good calories are proteins. So if you are counting calories and sort of reducing your calories, what's going to happen is you're reducing your good calories as well as your bad calories. So it's not the best thing to measure, not the best thing to count. All right. And if you look at the scales, you could be losing fat and increasing muscle, which is a really good thing to do. That's what you really want to be aiming to do. Okay. But if you're doing that, and you're losing fat and gaining muscle, which means your actual weight isn't changing, okay, that gives you a false impression that you're failing, and you're not failing. You're succeeding. Okay, so it's not a good way of measuring fat. It's a good way of measuring weight, but you don't really want to measure weight, do you? You want to measure fat, because that's what you want to lose, is fat. Okay, so that's the reasons why you should be doing this. Let's take a look at what you can do to replace it and to measure the right way. Okay, so instead of counting calories, you want to count what's good for you, which is nutrition. You want to take in tons of nutrition and making sure that what you're eating is great nutrition, and count how much nutrition you put into your body rather than how many calories you put into your body. All right. And on the subject of scales, okay, instead of using scales which you could be a bit confused about, use something very basic. Like I use the belt. So whenever I lost some inches off my waistline, I used to punch another hole in the belt and used to measure the distance between where my first hole was and second hole was, and that was the number of inches off my waistline. I lost 3 or 4 inches just by measuring that way, and I knew that I was doing well. I knew I was doing okay because I was losing inches off my waistline. Okay, and the other way, of course, is to see which clothes start hanging against you, which clothes are easier to put on, which clothes are easier to wear, and it just comes as basic as taking a photograph, taking a picture of yourself now, and just taking a picture of yourself in a week's time, a month's time, 3 months' time, and see how much you're changing. Alright, so that is a better way to measure yourself, and a better way in terms of calories and in terms of scales. Now, I hope you enjoyed this video. A little surprise for you here, and that is that if you need some fat loss help, I do have some fat loss experts who give me some information that's free on my blog. So if you need of an expert to help you out, okay, I've got it on my blog. It's for free. Come to it, which is topfatlossadvice.com. That's topfatlossadvice.com, and to get that free advice. Okay, I'll see you on the other videos. Many thanks for listening. Bye bye.